Hey guys, and welcome to Girls Frontline 2. We do have Alva and her complete kit. When I say complete, it's complete with all of the numbers that we would like to look at. And let's kind of go over her effects first. So she is going to be, I think, part of the core freeze team. And my bet is that she will elevate freeze team to be more competitive and probably now compete in the meta. So, with her effects, we'll start off with the support mode. So, increases freeze damage dealt by allies towards enemies with a shield. Effects by 20. Okay, increase crit rate by 20 for self. Before enemies within 8 tile radius performs an active attack, launches an interception. So she is going to be having interception together with Maki, dealing freeze damage equivalent to 60% attack and 4 stability damage. Converts 20% of the damage dealt into a frost ward barrier for all allies. So we're going to frost ward barrier in a while. So okay, it's here. Frost ward barrier. Considered a shield. Absorption amount is equal to 200% of Alva's initial attack. When the holder deals freeze damage for every 1000 shield HP held, increases damage dealt by 1.5%. When the holder receives damage, applies 1 stack of frozen to it, and this effect is treated as a frost barrier. So take note that Suomi is also dishing out a frost barrier. This is considered as a freeze type effect and cannot be dispelled. So for shields, just for your information, because there might be confusion on what will happen to Suomi shield, and you know it's usually the case. What happens to the effects? So the shield absorbs a certain amount of damage. Shields do not stack. So therefore, frost. For example, if I think the regular frost barrier will be converted into a frost ward barrier. They cannot stack, but they can overlap. Okay, so when the most recently applied shield expires or takes more damage than the previous one, they overlap. Okay, probably the effects can overlap but not stack in terms of the shield barriers. That is how I understand it. Okay, don't quote me on that. We will have to check this one out once it drops. Again, this is a nice mechanic because it literally takes freeze teams towards from a defensive standpoint, converting it to an offensive thing. So they overlap. Shields include Frost Barrier, Principal Protection, and other effects. So that's it. Frost Barrier is when a shield or Frost Barrier is destroyed. Apply Frigid for 1 turn, considered a freeze buff and cannot be cleansed. And Frozen, then she has Cryogenic Stinger, which is actually her summon. Applies Hypothermia to all enemies within a 4 tile radius. Before enemies within range are attacked, if the enemy does not have Frost Loom, converts a portion of its HP equivalent to 500% of Alva's attack into Frost Loom. This can only be reduced. This can only reduce HP to a maximum of 1 and can only trigger once per enemy per round. Only 1 Cryogenic Stinger can exist when an enemy within its range has its shield broken. If the enemy is within 8 tiles of Alva, performs an attack dealing freeze damage equivalent to 40% of the shield's HP. She also has Hypothermia, which increases freeze damage received by 20%. Okay, and she has Frostbite as well. Increased freeze damage received as well, again for another 20. There are a lot of things that can multiply the damage of freeze attacks right now. That is included in her kit. Let's go to her, the basic skills, and let's see which of these effects are actually included. So first and foremost, her basic attack, it's of course basic attack. Physical damage equivalent to 80% of attack to it. So this is going to be an 8 tile radius. Then you do have next one is a Heart of Snow Wolf. skill in a targeted. So this one is enters into a support mode for 3 rounds. So take note, support mode is going to be increased freeze damage dealt by allies towards enemies with shield. Plus there are, and she launches interception as well and converts 20% of the damage dealt into Frost Ward Barrier. So this is very, very, very useful. Duration decrease at the end of the current round. Selects an enemy target within 8 tile radius and deals freeze damage equivalent to 100% of attack to it. So this one is enhanced by Vertebrae 4, increased conversion rate 2, Frost Ward Barrier dealt by interception during support mode by 30%. So in support mode, 20% of the damage dealt by Requiem of Snowfield, this is a fixed key, is converted into Frost Ward Barrier for all allies. Nice. So next one is going to be Frost Echo, skill, an AoE, and a summon. So selects an empty tile within an 8 tile radius, consumes all Confectance Index for each Confectance Index consumed, deals AoE freeze damage equivalent to 15% and 1 stability damage to all allies within a 4 tile radius in selected tile, and summons a cryogenic stinger for 3 rounds. Duration decreased at the end of the current round, so the current round basically counts as 1 round. If Alva has 3 stacks of combat preparation after the skill, consumes 3 stacks of combat preparation and gains extra command. Interesting. So the first Vertebrae goes to this skill, increase the damage multiplier to 20% of attack if Alva has 3 stacks of combat preparation after skill usage, enters into support mode for 3 rounds, duration decreased at the end of the current round, and increased Confectance Index by 6 points. And the 5th Vertebrae goes to this skill as well, enhances the effect of Cryogenic Stinger, increased damage multiplier to 60% of the shield HP, and enhances the effects of Hypothermia, increases freeze damage received by a whopping 40% from 20. Nice. So Requiem of Snowfield is going to be your ultimate skill. Sorry for that. I thought it was a fixed damage skill. Anyway, Requiem is an ultimate targeted. Selects an enemy target within 8 tile radius, consumes all Confectance Index. For each Confectance Index consumed, deals freeze damage equivalent to 30% of the attack and 1 stability to it. So your Vertebrae 2 is actually here. And your Vertebrae 2 is ideally your first stopping point. Increases damage multiplier to 40% of the attack. After skill usage, increases Confectance Index by 1 point for all freeze units, excluding self. Nice. Fixed key is going to be 5 Requiem of Snowfield before skill usage dispels 2 buffs from the target. So we usually need these in boss challenges. So passive, Frozen Touch, passive in a buff, increases shield applied by all allies, including Macchiato, including Suomi as well. When allies gain shield, the shield is converted into a Frost Ward Barrier. So it converts to her barrier with the same shield HP. At the end of the action, increase Confectance Index by 3 and gains 1 stack of combat preparation. After launching interception, increases Confectance Index by 1. So the third, just in case you want to go beyond the second one, it's going to be for the passive. So increase shield applied by 50%, which is actually an overkill. But whatever. Even a 30 here is actually good already. The 50 is way, way good. New effect is added to Frost Ward Barrier when the holder deals freeze damage for every 1000 shield HP held. Increase crit damage by 1. Whoa. So this adds further defense and further offense. So either 2 or 3, depending on what your appetite for upgrade is. So Vertebrae upgrade 6, increase absorption amount of Frostwind Barrier to 300% of Alba's initial attack. When the holder deals freeze damage every 1000 shield HP, the damage increases and the crit damage bonuses are doubled. Whoa. She's a monster. Anyway. For her common key, we'll go to the fixed key later. Common key is attack plus 5, increase face damage towards enemies with shield by 10%. So pretty much situational, but a high reward bonus, if I may say. So recommended keys for her. At the start of the battle, increase Confectance Index by 3 and gains 3 stacks of combat preparation. This is definitely a must because even combat preparation is included in her skill. Fixed Key 4 is for each stack of combat preparation consumed, increase attack for self by 3% up to 18%. Nice. And Fixed Key is the recommended one, increase stability damage taken by enemies within a 4-tile radius of Cryonic Stinger by 2 points. Nice as well. Alternatives, obviously the Dispel is very helpful if you want somebody to dispel within your team. You can actually equip Fixed Key 5. For the weapons, Golden Melody, if you have extras, some of you guys have extras, I'm sure. This is going to be her free-to-play option. Plus Planeta, I'd go with Golden Melody. She has support attacks here, but I'm not sure if Interception is supported by support attacks, but it's recommended here anyway. And from what I've seen, AN-94, her signature weapon, is the best one because of the buff. When allies deal freeze damage, increase crit damage by, if it's a 1 copy, it's 10%. If they have a shield on before attacking, further increase the damage dealt by another 10%. So technically, that's it. That's a whopping 20% for freeze damage dealers. So I'd rather, get at least 1 copy of this gun than get the other guns that are available here. So that is it. So again, the best stopping point first is going to be V2, assuming in Gunsmoke, where there's 7 turns, it allows V5 below Maki to use S1 and the 4th turn instead of S2. And again, 1 copy of the gun is highly suggested. So what do you think of her kit? She's gonna be... Freeze is gonna compete for meta teams at this point. With this kit, with Ro, with Maki, with Sumi. So you have Sumi, you have Ro, you have Maki, Sumi, Ro, Maki, and Alva for the 4th one. For the 5th one, it's really gonna be Dash. So another support, which would give you extra. But these 4, including Alva, will be your main team, and they're actually ready. So I do hope that when this comes to global, eventually Freeze will be complete as well. So what do you think of her kit, guys? I think she's an awesome character. We just have to wait for her. Again, Freeze team builders like myself are gonna have to wait. We still have Ro, and now we are going to be waiting for Alva. Thank you guys for staying this far. Take care. Stay safe. This is the Warden, and I'm out of here.